You back?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Guest password. Why can we not have that?
I can work on getting it as
No.
time allows.
Yeah, I don't
It's not for me, so.
know. Yeah.
Please rise for the speech.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Alderman Volkart. Here. Alderman Blank.
Here.
Alderman Old.
Here.
Alderman Bell.
Here.
Alderman Wilson.
Here.
And Alderman Lewis.
Here.
Making a motion for approving of November 7th, 2023 meeting minutes, please.
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Special items, I see none. Appointments to the boards and commissions, none. Scheduled public comments, John Martin, District 44 State Representative, candidate.
Thank you very much. You guys will take one of my campaign brochures. Take one, just pass it down, that way. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to visit with you tonight. Introduce myself. My name is John Martin. I am a state rep candidate for the Republican Party state, District 44, which includes Centralia, Hallsville, Ashland, and Hartsburg. I am a lifelong Boone Countyan. Grew up in Centralia, raised on a family farm. Cherie Reich is the current rep. The lines were redrawn back in 2020. And Sarah Walsh was the longtime rep here and a personal friend of Sarah's. And Cherie has been in this district now for 2 years. She's term limited, and so she cannot run anymore. And so I'm running to be a conservative voice for these rural communities. So it includes those rural communities as well as eastern Boone County as well. And so a lifelong Boone Countyan. I'm married. My wife's Lisa. We have 4 children. 2 are University of Missouri graduates. 1 is there now, and I have a younger son as well. I'm a business owner. My company is Pro Pumping and Hydrojetting. It's a local service company. We service dirty jobs type stuff, septic tanks, grease trap, lagoons. Done work with James, the city of Ashland, coming here a few times and pumping some tanks and pumping some of the treatment plant here off of Liberty Lane in that area, off of Douglas. Also involved in, we provide most of the grease trap pumping for most of the restaurants here in the Ashland area, the McDonald's and the Taco Bells and the new break time across the highway. So we do a lot of service work, keeping your sewer lines clean so that the grease doesn't get in there and clog things up. So I'm a local business owner. I have 9 employees, and the company's been around for many, many years. I'm the owner. My wife and I, we run that, and so very involved in economic growth and in service industry. I'm also former pastor. I pastored churches in the Centralia, Hallsville, and Columbia area for about 30 years, and stepped away from that a year ago to get involved, to be what I would say a common sense leader in government, and we need that in our government, all levels. I want to thank you guys for your service. I know you guys put in a lot of hours reading minutes and coming to meetings and doing that, and so your service to the city of Ashland is admirable. And so I really want to thank you for your service. Some of my positions and some of the things I would strive for. I know for you to have striving communities, good thriving type communities. The importance of safety. Obviously, families want to move and be a part of communities where there's safety. So I definitely support police. I want to support public safety. I've been in contact with, for example, a neighboring county. Their elected county official, their county prosecuting attorney was talking to me about the need for strengthening some of our state laws to help them put criminals away. And that I'm really, really tired individually of seeing, crimes happening. You see that person has a rap sheet of 15, 20 crimes that they have, committed. These people need to be behind bars. And so I very much want to review that and look at, instances of bail and letting people out on the streets that shouldn't be out there, and make sure that we're following the law and having the right laws so that people can be put, behind bars. So we have community safety. I sponsored 2 years, 2020 and 2021. I sponsored for the city of Columbia at the courthouse, I should say, back the blue, back the flag rallies, supporting our veterans and supporting our, our police. And so it's very, very important to stand behind them. A second aspect that's important, I know, in communities would be economic growth, the opportunity for jobs. I know Ashland is a community where there's been growth, obviously, by people like your schools coming here. You got Lakeside Ashland, all the growth happening around the airport. You've got the Rankin Tech that's here, and you see the growth of businesses and things like that. And so I want to, be a part of efforts to improve that and continue to see that grow. One of the things I'd like to do, I'd like to eliminate year by year, over a 4-year period, 1% at a time, our state personal income tax. Personal income tax on your payroll is about 4%. I'd like to see that knocked off 1% every single year to where that's gone. A number of states in the Midwest do not have income taxes, personal income tax. And I think our state can make adjustments and can live with 1% drops each year in some of those, while at the same time maintaining our core services. Obviously, you guys as aldermen have core services with your streets and roads and police and those kind of things, education for the state level. So those things can be maintained. But I think there's areas of our state budget that are excessive. It can that can be trimmed, and that 4% go back to to the families in our district, in our state. And that's attractive then for new families coming to the state, even businesses. And so again, Tennessee is an example of a state in the Midwest that does not have personal income taxes. And so I think that's something worthy to look into and see about trimming that, because I think it's something very doable. The third aspect of my campaign would be the importance of strong education. Obviously, supporting our schools, that's another key part of families wanting to come to Ashland. A lot of people work obviously in Columbia or they work in Jeff City, but they like Ashland schools. So we want to support us, quality education where kids are taught the basics, math, reading and writing and communicating with people. I hire employees. I want to see employees, as far as students coming out that have good skills and that can get into the workforce and have good paying jobs. And so that's important part. I think thankful for Rankin Tech and all the the growth that's happening here. So those would be some of my the legs I would stand on as a campaign. Again, I'm a business owner. I'm also an investor in regional economic development. I donate to that every year to see growth in the area. I'm a member of the Ashland Chamber of Commerce and encouraging growth in that way. And so anyway, I just appreciate the opportunity to introduce myself to you guys, and thank you for your service. And if I am elected, I really would hope to have a good working relationship with the city of Ashland. We may not always agree on everything. That's the way it is in politics. You don't always agree on everything, but you strive forward for the common good. And so I would look forward to working with you guys as a state rep for District 44. If you have any questions, you see my information, please call me and keep in touch. Anything I can help with or answer, I would sure be happy to do that. Thanks again.
Thank you. All right, moving on to public hearing, I see none. Introductions and first readings, none. Move on to old business. Ordinance number 1459, an ordinance calling a bond election in the city of Ashland, Missouri.
Same staff report as last month. Our last meeting is in your packet. So again, we would be looking to place a $40 million revenue bond question on the February 6th, 2024 ballot. This would be for the purpose of funding the wastewater improvement projects that we've been discussing the last handful of months and workshopped last month. Right now we have a workshop scheduled for December 5th ahead of our December 5th meeting. So we'll meet at 6 o'clock to have another workshop with engineering to start going over next steps. Now I've spoke with a few of you offline over the last 2 weeks. So if you have any additional questions, comments, concerns you'd like to discuss tonight, happy to have those conversations.
Any questions for Kyle?
Well, I'll mention it. So Kyle, I know you and I talked just about the vote itself and the cost and all of that. And I know we talked about the vote threshold, so I did get clarification that it's only a simple majority in February. And then also that seems to be one of the cheaper elections for the citizens if we were to go forward at like a November, for example. My understanding is the allocation would be significantly higher to the city of Ashland. So I think I raised a couple of concerns, and I think after doing my research, talking to the clerk and talking to you, I think all of those, I feel like February is probably the right time.
Any questions? Can I get a motion to approve ordinance number 1459, an ordinance calling a bond election for city of Ashland, Missouri?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll Second.
Alderman Wilkart.
Aye.
Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Alderman Old.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Moving on to new business, a resolution authorizing appropriation of funds to certain accounts within the fiscal year 2024 budget, please.
The 6-month financial statement has been completed and published. We are now entering into the second half of our fiscal year. The amendments reflect keeping the budget current and anticipated revenues and expenses for the remaining of the fiscal year. General administration, community development, and police saw minor adjustments in revenue and expenses. Most adjustments were seen in the police department with an increase to the salary line, overtime line, reserve officer service line, uniforms, utilities, and vehicle maintenance. To be a little bit more specific, for the interim chief, he still has 2 more positions to fill, so we need ample funds for uniforms. And then we had a vehicle mishap, that we have a deductible that we need to pay on. An adjustment to the court fund was necessary to the circuit clerk requesting a refund on a bond forfeiture. Park, storm, and water also saw some minor adjustments. Street saw an increase in anticipated motor vehicle fuel tax while also seeing a decrease in the anticipated road tax replacement from the county of Boone, so they offset each other. Increased revenues in water for interest in new meter purchase. Water expenses saw some small adjustments. And then in sewer, the treatment repair and supplies was adjusted to accommodate for the emergency expense for the blower that we just had to purchase. And we are recommending that the resolution pass.
Any questions for staff, please? All right, can I get a motion approving a resolution authorizing the appropriation of funds to certain accounts within the fiscal year 2024 budget?
I'll make that one.
I have a second, please.
Second.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Old.
Aye.
Alderman Plank.
Aye.
And Alderman Wilkart.
Aye.
Moving on, a resolution authorizing the change order number 2 to M&M Landscaping and Construction LLC for the Perry Avenue Extension Project.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, before you this evening is change order number 2 on Perry Avenue project. This is an underrun change order due to a needed change for materials. On the original bid documents and specifications call for 1.25 inch diameter dowel rods and baskets for the road deck. The contractor, MMLC, requested that we consider amending that to 3/4 inch diameter dowel rods and baskets due to the thickness of the road deck coming in at 8 inches thick. I'm not sure if this was an oversight on the engineering side or how it came into be, but typically your 1.25 inches are used in 10 inch thick road decks. It's a bit of overkill for an 8 inch road deck, and if we had some type of vertical shift such as a base failure, it would lead to premature concrete falling on the deck itself. So contractor made that request. We discussed it internally along with MoDOT and Great River Engineering. Everyone was in agreement that it was an acceptable change. Leads to a cost savings overall of $4,711.50. Since this is a MoDOT cost share project of 50%, it will be split with MoDOT as they participate in all underruns. So short term, we should see a savings of $2,355.75 to go back into the capital expenditure budget.
Any questions for James?
Can you find a few more of those?
Working on it. All right, can I get a motion to approve resolution authorizing change order number 2 to M&M Landscaping and Construction LLC for the Perry Avenue Extension Project?
So moved.
Second. Alderman Wilkart.
Aye.
Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Alderman Old.
Aye.
Alderman Bell.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Moving on to reports, just a few items, just reminders on calendars. The chamber luncheon is November 29th. The Hallsville business meeting is November 30th. Christmas parade is December 1st. Anybody would like to join James and I in the parade? We have a trailer that we'll all be on. And then also, Thanksgiving Day, we're having the Thanksgiving turkey for Miss Brenda from Skyline Cafe. She's doing a dinner from 10 to 2. It's all donation driven. All the donations will go to Welcome Home in Columbia. And then the last thing is Salters, lawn care. Any kind of big debris as far as, like leaves and stuff, other than bagging it up, are they looking at maybe doing a residential pickup?
I mean, I don't think he has a leaf vac, but we can certainly talk to him about what options would be available.
Yeah, I know this is his first year doing it, so it was just brought up this year, so. And that is my report.
Is there a Boone County government thing?
That was his date that he's mentioned.
That's a Hallsville
It's in
dinner.
Hallsville.
Yeah,
Okay,
November 30th.
got it, okay, thank you.
And I've RSVP'd for you two already, Melissa and Rick.
So. Move on to city administration, please.
Just some more dates for you. I've got the Missouri Municipal League conferences for '24. So the legislative conference is February 20th and 21st in Jeff City. That's a really good one to go to. I went to that one last year. And Mel will be present to kind of discuss current legislative topics that are of pressing import to cities. So very informative and educational, and that's pretty close at hand. If you want to attend that one, just let me know. Elected officials training, June 6th through 7th in Columbia. Then the annual conference will be September 15th through 18th in Branson. So if you'd like to start planning ahead for that one, just let us know.
Moving on to city attorney's report.
I don't have any report.
Thanks, sir. Public Works, Director of Public Report.
Mr. Mayor, please the board, I'll just hit a couple of high points. Regarding the Perry Avenue project, curb and gutter, 4 was completed this morning. If the weather holds, the contractor's goal is to have the road deck poured and completed by the end of next week. Approximately 740 cubic yards of concrete to be poured down for that 1,200 foot stretch of roadway. South Main Street is all wrapped up. Angel Lane culvert repairs, we're working with the engineers to get that stuff ready for bid. Still working on the TAP grant, trail project, preliminary designs, going over some cost savings measures. And Park Board is working towards implementing some stuff from the master plan.
On Main Street, have we got a striping bid yet?
No, we've had a lot of difficulties in running down anyone that will even entertain giving us a bid. Apparently there's a void in the market, so if anyone is looking for an investment opportunity, I will start the striping crew on the weekends with Public Works guys. No. Unfortunately, it's a small enough job that it really doesn't garner a whole lot of attention from your bigger companies. The smaller companies are really starting to focus more on parking lots. Trying to get someone to come in and do that long line work has been rather difficult, but we'll keep plugging away at it.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for James?
Well, I do have a question. I kind of heard some rumblings of like people with water pressure issues in downtown. Are we hearing that? Is there anything we can do about that?
I mean, Mayor and I and Rick were all at Yum Yo's for about an hour yesterday, so.
Okay,
Wasn't a water
Yeah.
pressure issue, it was a plumbing issue.
okay, so it's not on the city.
Nothing since
Okay,
It was a matter of the toilet that was installed needed a larger service than it had.
you guys are on it.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Curtis went and checked multiple properties along Broadway, and they all have about 52 for their pressure, so
Okay,
it's
great,
pretty high enough.
thank you.
All right, moving on to Board of Aldermen. Alderman Bocart.
No report.
Alderman Plank. No report. Alderman O.
No report.
Alderman Bell.
I did have a nice meeting with some folks from the chamber. And just, I guess I'm not technically a member of the chamber, but we talked a little bit about city stuff. as well. And I would say that I got like some general frustration about like people showing up to meetings and not engaging in conversation. And so I think there's just like maybe a general misunderstanding of how the meetings work, right? And that like that's not, if you have an issue, the best thing to do is reach out to us ahead of time. And so I went through that process and like I got it, like the issue we just talked about here, if you call us and tell us there's something and, it's before the meeting, usually, I mean, I heard about it this weekend. You guys were out there yesterday and had it resolved before the meeting. So I think a lot of things don't even show up to the meeting. So I know I was checking the website. I know most of our cell phone numbers and email addresses are on the website. And so I just, that was kind of a smaller group, but I want to just make it known more publicly that if you're having an issue, we want to know about it. And this is not necessarily the best venue for the first time for us to hear about it. And a lot of times you don't need to sit here for 2 hours. It's something that we can resolve over the phone or in a smaller group. So I think that's really helpful. And I think I was disappointed to hear some complaints from people and some other issues that like I had heard for the first time through like a third party and that I didn't hear when my cell phone's posted on the website. So happy to have those conversations. I'm available in a number of different ways, but I think it's on all of us to help clarify that because I think there is some frustration there and it's just a misunderstanding of what the best way, if you have an issue with the city, to get that resolved. And I think we do end up resolving a lot of it before you ever see those folks show up at the meeting. And that's probably the best and fastest way to figure out an issue if you're having one. So I just wanted to reiterate that to a larger group.
No report. Alderman Lewis.
No report.
Going on to general comments from public and Alderman staff. Any questions or comments? Comments, basically. None? All right. Moving on, can we get a motion to vote to go into closed session to over Missouri statute chapter 610.21, article 3 and 1. Can I get a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Bocart?
Aye.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderman O?
Aye.
Alderman Bell?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Move to closed session. motion, oh, we're back in open session, correct? All right. We have one item to report tonight. The council will issue a notice for a public hearing on December 7th at 1 p.m. for termination of Gabe Edwards. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So,
Have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.